thank you so much, everyone, for coming, for tuning in, for being part of this. This is the last chance you've got to donate. If you've not donated, if you've already donated, and you want to help us change what it means, positively change what it means to have ADHD. Where our aim is to help people thrive. That's what we're here to do. And you can see we've not shied away from areas that are very, very tough, as our closing segment has talked about, but gone into areas of sport, gone to different areas of the world, completely circumnavigated the globe, represented in every time zone. It has been something else, and we are a little tired. I need to do thank yous, and I was so tired I had to ask someone else to help me put together the list, and in wonderful way. I now can't find the bloody thing. I'll find it. I will waffle for the next 30 seconds whilst I do find it. This has absolutely been a team effort, without any question at all. We had this wonderful idea about 12 weeks ago, and we've just done it, and we've only been able to do it because of the extraordinary people getting involved and saying, yeah, I'll do that. People who would normally need booking honestly years in advance. We've got people like Microsoft and Google, people like just extraordinary experts, and giving their time, everyone giving their time for free to make the difference. And the aim was to change ADHD globally, nationally, locally, and individually, to provide share that learning, to raise us all up. So we hear things from different experts from different countries, so that we can all learn from them, and in doing so, rise everyone up. And as a side impact, create a coalition of organisations and individuals and charities working globally to come together. So we have had many meetings which we come together to organise this conference. After this conference, we're having meetings to talk about how we can work together to change things. And for people who are at the handover, particularly ADHD New Zealand, they'll know that we're already doing that. So, for example, so their political work has been spectacular. They've created substantial change in New Zealand. We need to do that here, right? We need to change it so people aren't waiting years for diagnosis, that they have to go private, that they have options, and private where they can. Where there is actually support afterwards. It isn't like, here's your assessment, off you go. To provide real support, to change what it's like in the workplace, to provide those that support there, give people ideas and practical things around adjustments that will make a difference. Change how it is for kids in school, so they get actual support and things that will make a difference for them. Help people in universities where they've got ADHD, and that big difference where there's a complete change of structure, going from structure of school to then almost none, and helping those. And we heard the dramatic impact that are the ADHD suicide numbers, which are so high, and actually also represent how hard so many people are struggling with ADHD, and that need for us to change. We are here fighting it. So ADHD UK, right? This is what we're doing, so please do donate. We get no government funds, and you go to globaladhd.com and click the donate button. That is probably the last time I'll say that in this session. Thank yous. I have to a huge, incredible thank you to Christine, who's sitting next door to me. I'm going to put her on screen. She has been the absolute. Look into the camera. Hello, Christine. She is honestly, we've been co-collaborators in this, and the sort of now son hero of the but this would not have been possible by a very large margin without her enormous effort. I know she wants to say a few words in a second, so I'm going to, that was the exciting screen, so I'm going to deprive her of the limelight just yet again.
That's fine.
Obviously managed to lose the screen. Anna in the office has been incredible. A huge workload has gone on her. Like, as I and others have focused on the conference, Anna's had to pick up, both work on the conference and pick up keeping the charity running incredibly well. She's been extraordinary. Terry has been volunteering, and with the simple I'll just give me tasks, I'll do them, and Terry and Anna were the night team, keeping this show on the road during the night. They had to deal with a network breakdown, an entire audio breakdown, that they dealt with it with aplomb. They're absolutely extraordinary, and they kept the show on the road, which is no mean feat. We've got Matthew and Robert, who've been enormously helpful around the marketing, around the content, constantly pulling ideas and creating new things. Lorna, who's relatively new to the team and is a bucket of enthusiasm around the fundraising, around the support, and it's wonderful. And Dan, who's been an incredible person doing, particularly doing the videos. So a lot of the vast majority of the videos you saw and the interstitials, which gave me the time to sort stuff out, that was Dan. And he, again, put a huge amount of time into those. Those things take a while, and he was wonderful. And then we've got Danny and Ishan. So the code you've seen, so the where people put in questions, and then you can boost, which a number of people did. It's an excuse to donate and put your question at the top. That was all coded by them. They have they're volunteers and are wonderful people, and that is the basis of some technology that's going to launch in the next few weeks. We passionately think that those ideas, those strategies, those products that can make a difference, you see them in lists as if they fit everyone. They just don't. So we want to create we are creating a system where people can vote and comment and upvote, so you can find different, see which ones work. Essentially, it's a review platform, which the non-ADHD people, they have anyway, right? That's the App Store. It's reviews for people, the general population. We need that for us, and that's what that's actually built for. They then put in a huge effort to pivot it into doing our Q&A as well. They've been fantastic and are incredibly skilled people. And I need to thank my trustees, fellow trustees, Jane Roberts and Max Davey, who have been extremely kind and frankly, like a lot of stuff that I was supposed to have done, I've not done, and to an extent done conference. They've been very kind on that. And Jane is extraordinary and has provided significant funds, which has meant the charity is what it is. It's a huge donation. It's life-changing for the charity and those we impact. We wouldn't be able to employ people, wouldn't have an office without her at this point. Like it's like, yeah, and creating a charity and pushing it through is an extraordinarily hard thing to do, and without her money, honestly, and her donation, her support, and her time and her effort, it would not be possible. So thank you specifically to her. And I have to say thank you to all the 53 contributors. You'll be delighted here. I'm not intending to list every single one because that will be it would take ages, and I don't think you want to. I probably have to do some particularly big thank yous. There are a few that everyone is important. There have been a few pivot points and a few people who have really made a difference. Particularly are the celebrities getting involved. Heston's Blumenthal, I've had the pleasure of getting to know over the last few weeks, and he gave the extraordinary candid interview talking about himself, his and how his ADHD has impacted his trajectory. I think he's extraordinarily important for ADHD. We know so many people who are denied the opportunity for an ADHD assessment because they managed to do something in their life, like they've managed to, like, probably slightly the wrong words, it's been 24 hours, but like where they've managed to get a qualification, like they're keeping down a job, and then the GP will say, well, you can't have ADHD because you've got those things. And when he was diagnosed, he had 3 Michelin stars and his restaurant was voted best on the planet. And then when you hear about the extraordinary measures he went to do that, you get a real insight into the challenge of ADHD. And Tanya Bardsley, who's talked again with absolute candour about her situation and how difficult childhood was, and completely heartbreaking interview, particularly the end, and looking to make change. And Adrian Charles, who's been extraordinary, and particularly getting to know him, and his own support, writing a beautifully eloquent article in The Guardian. We've had some big companies, like particularly Google, jumping in, meant a lot of other people got involved, and Microsoft as well. Like having those sort of big pivot brands, they have an obligation to protect their brands and look after them. And they jumped and helped an unknown conference, never happened before, and got involved to make a difference. Took that risk, and it was a big deal, and it's made a big difference. And I genuinely can't thank them enough. Handing over to you, I give you the with trepidation. One, I have to.
You don't trust me.
I mean, I think you know the answer to that. I absolutely do. Like this. Over to you. You're on.
You can see all the bags under our eyes as well, can't you? I just wanted to say thank you to you, Henry. Some of you know that I've been on the YouTube chat for the last couple of hours. Sort of once everything was sorted out for the conference. Overwhelming thanks for you from the people on that chat. This wouldn't have happened without you. In fact, ADHD UK would not happen without you. The energy and the enthusiasm that you bring to this, the passion, the inspiration and the creative scariness that you bring to it about what we can do and everything else. As Henry said, 12 weeks ago we didn't have a conference. 12 weeks ago I started volunteering with ADHD UK. I wasn't quite anticipating that my first volunteer job would be quite as full on as this, and it has been an absolute ball. We have met some delightful people. We have established so many links and everything else for the future. I'm slightly worried about the fact Henry now has a whole year to dream up what we're going to do for the next conference, and I'm slightly worried about the fact he's going to remember it's Neurodiversity Month in March or whatever next year, and that actually we could maybe do something for that, but I didn't really put that idea in his head at all. So thank you, Henry. Thank you for everything that you do for everybody with ADHD. I'm going to go cry in a minute. It's been an absolute ball. Thank you all very much for coming and listening. Thank you for the chat. If anybody wants to volunteer, we would love to have some more volunteers and everything else. If you go onto our website, you've all got the links because the conference website is on there as well. Under that there's a contact us thing. If you want to volunteer, we'd really like some web designers, but all volunteers really, really helpful. And just contact us and you'll get a chance to have a chat with one of us about where you can help and everything. I think that's about it, really.
Thank you. Thank you. We have been a twosome. It's been impossible to do that. You are an extraordinary person. I'm just going to finish with some quick stats, one of which I've forgotten. But we've had, in the registration period, we had over... I'll ask Christine, how many did we have register?
It was about, I think, just about 4,000 in the end. Just
about 4,000. Certainly we've seen that in our attendee numbers. We know that at the midpoint, we don't get data until after this is all over. At the midpoint, we had 4,400 attendees, so we know it'll be bigger than that. It's a big number for us, and if you imagine that in a room, it's a big deal. So it's over 4,000, definitely over 4,000 registered people, over 4,500 people attending. Because you could obviously attend without registering, allowed you to join the Q&A. With representatives from over 55 countries, truly global. Every single continent except Antarctica, and across the world, from across the world, from Japan to South Africa to America, Canada, Slovakia, Bulgaria, France, UK, obviously, and all the parts of the UK. Like, it's just been something else, and it was what we set out to do, something global. So we're very, very, very pleased. Thank you, everyone, for your support. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of it. Thank you for being looking to make this change. Thank you for everyone who donated. I'm going to do it again. I do donate if you can. Always get involved with fundraising for the charity. Go to ADHD UK. But for donations, go to globaladhd.com and click that donate button. Thank you, everyone, for being part of this. It has been an extraordinary thing, and it has been a pretty exciting 24 hours. Yeah, that's it. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you so much. It has been something else, and it's been absolutely wonderful. I think an important moment in the change of ADHD, certainly in the UK, and I hope in the world. And it's the first stepping stone. Well, it's we stand on the shoulders of giants. Like, many people have done a lot of work in the already, but this was a big step, and we hope to keep doing this and keep that progress. Do help us. Thank you for being part of this. Have a great rest of your day. And thank you, genuinely thank you. It's been just wonderful.